Good morning, all. I hope all of you are preparing the assignment which I have given for MCQ questions. Suraj, can you tell me how many of them have submitted?
Ma'am, 4 to 5 people.
Only 4 to 5 people have submitted. I will request others to submit.
Ma'am, I have given them date before 20.
Yes, good. Now today we will learn about protection and security. Protection and security. Under protection and security, protection and security is of utmost importance. Why? Because without any protection, it is prone to hackers. Protection. Let us start with the definition of protection. Protection refers to a mechanism for controlling the access of programs, processes, or users to the resources defined by an operating system. It involves guarding a user's data and programs against interference by other authorized users of the systems. So this is the definition, formal definition of protection. Is it clear? Why do we need protection? We need protection to prevent against any mischievous activity, to prevent intentional violation of an access restriction by user, to ensure that each program component active in a system uses system resources only in ways consistent with stated policies. So for these reasons, we need protection. Leakage of data, unauthorized access, these are not permissible because this will lead to leakage of confidential data. Advantages of protection: it allows safe sharing of a common logical address space or common physical address space. Considering the logical address space, if there is a directory of files that has to be shared among multiple users, the protection techniques help to accomplish safe sharing. Considering the physical address mode, multiple users can have access to the memory. It also provides fair and reliable resource usage. Up to this, is there any confusion regarding the definition of protection? Does anyone want to say anything about the definition of protection? What is protection, or why protection is required? Anything?
No, ma'am.
Up to this, I think everyone has a clear picture. Actually, the main entities must be protected. Endpoint devices like computers, smart devices, routers, networks, and the cloud. Common technologies used to protect these entities include generation firewalls, DNS filtering, malware protection, antivirus software, and security solution. These entities need to be protected. What are the goals of protection? Operating system consists of a collection of objects. Each object has a unique name and can be accessed through a well-defined set of operations. Protection problem is to ensure that each object is accessed correctly and only by those processes that are allowed to do so. So that this is the definition of protection, or we can say the goal of protection. Network security is actually the practice of securing a computer network from intruders, whether targeted attackers or opportunistic malware. Application security focuses on keeping software and devices free of threats. A compromised application should provide access to data designed to protect. And successful security begins in the design stage well before a program or device is deployed. Information security protects the integrity and privacy of data, both in storage and in transit. So these are the concepts related with protection. What are the different facets of protection of information? These facets of protection of information is given. Secrecy, it implies that only authorized user should be able to access information. Privacy implies that information should be used only for the purpose for which it is intended and shared. That means intention is also important, that for what purpose that information is shared, that is important. I want to share my whiteboard.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of facets?
Facets means aspects. This is just an English word. These are different aspects, different phases of protection, you can say. Aspects, phases.
Okay, ma'am.
There are three areas. There are three areas of classification. There are three areas, or we can say areas or classes, or classification of security controls. What are those? They include, these are main points, look carefully. They include management, security, then operational security, and then third one is physical security. These are three types of classifications of security control. For management security, for operational security, and for physical security. These are the Three types of control. And when a network is secured, potential threats gets blocked from entering or spreading on the network. So example of network security include antivirus and anti-spyware program, firewalls that block unauthorized access to a network, and VPNs used for secure remote access. So this, let me again share, or let me again go back to PowerPoint slide. Security. As per definition, security refers to providing protection to computer system resources such as CPU, memory, disk, and software programs. It involves guarding a user's data and program against interference by external entities, example, unauthorized persons. This is the definition of security. Security is defined by three attributes. There are three attributes of security: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Remember that these are three main characteristics or features of security. Confidentiality is the prevention of unauthorized modification of information and resources. It ensures that sensitive information are accessed only by an authorized person and kept away from those not authorized to possess them. It is implanted using security mechanisms such as username, password, access control lists, and encryption. It is also common for information to be categorized according to the extent of damage that could be done should it fall into unintended hands. Security measures can then be implemented accordingly. I have explained, I have given the definition of confidentiality. Now I want one of you to unmute and explain me what you have understood. Explain what you have understood. Okay. Yes, what happened? Speak up. No one
Yes,
have
ma'am.
understood.
Ma'am,
Yes.
confidentiality means keeping something very confidential to ourselves, to the systems. Like some files we don't want some files to be used by some other persons, like by hacker, someone else. So in security attributes, we check the confidential factor that our files are accessed by us or by them whom we give the authority, not by others. So confidentiality checks this only.
Very good. Does anyone else want to say anything? Few students always stay silent in class. Others, anyone? I repeatedly said to please speak up, please try to interact. If there is a problem, please let me know so that I can explain again. Plus, all of you choose to stay silent. I couldn't understand why. Now, I will explain integrity. Integrity ensures that information are in a format that is true and correct to its original purposes. The receiver of the information must have the information the creator intended him to have. The information can be edited by authorized person only and remains in its original state when at rest. Integrity is implemented using security mechanisms. So security mechanism is also important. What security mechanism? Data encryption and hashing. Note that the changes in data might also occur as a result of non-human caused event such as an electromagnetic pulse or server crash. So it is important to have the backup procedure and redundant system in place to ensure data integrity. Availability ensures that information and resources are available to those who need them. It is implemented using methods such as hardware maintenance, software patching, and network optimization. This is availability. What does availability means? That the prevention of unauthorized access. That means the data can be accessed, but only those people who are authorized user of data can access. Availability prevents unauthorized access of data. This is the concept of availability. Programs such as redundancy, failover, and high availability clusters are used to mitigate serious consequences when hardware issues do occur. Dedicated hardware devices can be used to guard against downtime and unreachable data due to malicious actions such as distributed denial of service attacks, DDoS. Now I want to draw a program. I want to draw a diagram. Wait.
Ma'am, can you explain integrity again?
Okay, wait. Go back. You want you want me to explain integrity? Will anyone say anything about integrity? No, no one. Integrity ensures that information are in the format that is true and correct to its original purpose. Let me draw a diagram. I'm drawing a diagram. Receiver, sender. And here we can say information. So from sender to receiver, information is sent. When or integrity ensures that information are information are in a format that is true and correct to its original purposes. To its original purposes. This means the receiver of the information must have the information that the creator intended him to have. That means the receiver is ensured that the sender wants to send the data which he has received. It is not the data which is being hacked or being intruded by someone. The changes in data might also occur as a result of non-human caused event such as electromagnetic pulse or server clash. So it is important to have the backup procedures and redundant system in place to ensure data integrity. That means receiver should be sure that the data which the sender has sent is authentic and he has received that data only, not some another data. Am I clear? Now,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
able to understand?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Wait, let me draw a diagram which is called, these are famous diagrams, CIA triad. I don't know how many of you have heard the name. Confidentiality, this is known as CIA triad. Here you will find inside, it is called data service. This is the CIA triad. These are the aspects of security, protection, confidentiality, integrity, availability. They fall under the category of CIA triad. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, let us go back to my slide again. Reasons for taking security measure, why it is needed to secure data, to prevent loss of data, to prevent corruption of data, to prevent compromise of data. Compromise of data means it is accessed by some unauthorized user. To prevent theft of data and to prevent sabotage. What does sabotage means?
Ma'am, to damage the data or to change
How
them.
can anyone damage the data? What are the different ways of damaging a data? What can be?
By manipulating them, we can manipulate.
Who else was speaking apart from Suraj? Who else was speaking? No one. So he's the only one who is responding in the class. Security threats. The external threat can be of two types, as direct threat and indirect threat. So these are the two types of security threats. A direct threat is an attack on the system from a hacker or a disgruntled insider. This is direct threat. An indirect threat is a random attack as a random attack such as a computer virus, worm, Trojan horse, etc. This is the definition of indirect threat. So security threat can be divided into direct threat and indirect threat. Intruders. Who are termed as intruders? Intruders and viruses are the two most publicized security threats. We identify three classes of intruders. One is masquerader. Who is masquerader? Masquerader is an unauthorized individual or an outsider who penetrates a system to exploit legitimate user accounts. This is the definition of masquerader. Then these definitions, I think this class, I will not be able to explain all these things in this class. So I will, what I will do, I will take another class for explaining these terms, since these are very important concepts. And all of you must learn what is masquerader, misfester, and clandestine user. These are new terms for you all. But before going into these, because I will be explaining this in detail in next class, let us look into some basic terms. We can say that these are basic security terms. So the basic security terms are asset. Asset is, we can say that anything valuable to a company that is to be protected. Now, assets can include tangible assets also, such as computers, network devices, and intangible assets or items are intellectual property, data, client information, etc. Assets needs to be protected from unauthorized access, use, disclosure. So these are the this is the definition of assets. Assets can be classified as unclassified, sensitive, confidential, secret, and top secret. So these are the different aspects of assets. Broad classification of asset is, what is the broad classification of asset? Broad classification is, wait. Tangible asset and next is next one is intangible assets. These are two types of assets. One is tangible asset and another is non-tangible asset. And further, there is classification of tangible and non-tangible asset also. Now, the second term is vulnerability. Wait. What is vulnerability? Vulnerability. Vulnerability is a weakness in a product that allows an attacker to compromise the integrity, availability, or confidentiality of the product. It can be found in protocol, operating system, applications, and system design. A malicious attacker might exploit an vulnerability, or it might be accidentally triggered because of failure or weakness in the software. When there is any weakness in the software, when it is prone to failure, we can say that the software is vulnerable. Is vulnerability clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Threat. What is threat? Threat is potential violation of security. Potential violation of security that can adversely impact organizational operations. Okay. So threat is potential violation of security that can adversely impact. Shujoy Nandi, do you want to ask anything? Shujoy Nandi? No. Okay. So the definition of threat is potential violation of security that can adversely impact organizational operation. Is it clear? This is the definition of threat. So all of you, I will, since the time is less, soon unmute yourself, give your name and roll number. Fast. So that I can give the attendance.
मैम एक बार थ्रेट का फिर से बता देंगे.
Threat I will explain in next class. Okay? Don't worry, I will explain it in detail. Suraj, अपना attendance बोलो, नाम बोलो, attendance बोलो, and everyone will say.
Ma'am Suraj Sharma, roll number 32.
Others?
Ma'am Shobhishan,
25.
Okay. Others?
Ma'am Shobhishan, roll number 22.
Navnita Veera, roll number 2.
One by one.
Ma'am Shobhishan, roll number
Navnita
22.
Veera, roll number.
Shabak Chakrabarti, roll number 36.
Okay.
রুদ্রানী দত্ত রোল নাম্বার 40
Okay.
ম্যাম রোল
Ma'am,
নাম্বার
Akash.
2 টা লিখেছেন?
Ma'am, Akash Shah, roll number 11.
44.
Who is
প্রকৃতি সাহা রোল
24?
ম্যাম রোল 21
21 name.
মৈথিলি দত্তগুপ্ত
Okay.
ম্যাম
Ma'am,
রোল নাম্বার
11.
2 টা লিখেছেন?
সাহা রোল নাম্বার 18